Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In the last video, I have discussed about the easy way of making 1 crore. In today's video, I'll be discussing about the best way of selecting mutual fund in 2026, and also I'll provide my personal framework of selecting mutual fund and also my personal choices. So please make sure you guys watch the video till the end. In case if you like it, please share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel so that you will not miss the upcoming video notification. With that, let's start the video. So in today's video, I'll be using ET Money for checking the mutual fund across different category. So let's go to ET Money, and if you just see the mutual fund drop down, you can just select the equity funds. So here you will see different category and types of equity funds. Today I'll be discussing about the large cap, mid cap, small cap, and also walk you through the flexi cap funds as well. So I'll just give a brief about the beginners who are watching this video. In the large cap, there will be a top 100 companies or 100 stocks, you can say. This is also written here as well. Invest in top 100 stocks. So basically the Nifty, it will be a combination of 500 companies. The top 100 companies are called as large cap. In that we have two different category, Nifty 50 and Nifty next 50. So the first 50 are top 50 companies and next 50 are Nifty next 50 companies. This is purely based on market capitalization. And then we have mid cap. So in that 500 itself, the companies that are starting from 101 till 250, so that is total 150 number of companies. So that 150 is categorized as mid cap companies. So all the stocks under that category will be invested in the mid cap funds. Then we have small cap, which is 250 companies starting from 251 to till 500. All the companies falls under that category are named as small cap, and the fund manager will be investing in those companies to beat the benchmark. And then we have flexi cap companies. So in the flexi cap, it as the name itself suggests, the fund manager will be having that flexibility to invest across different market cap based on the scenario across the globe. We have different categories of funds as well. Multi-cap, maybe I'll just, once we finish the video at the end, I will just give a quick walkthrough of what all these funds are. So let's start with large cap now. So if you just open the large cap, so large cap companies are the top 50 companies in India. So if you just scroll, you can see different large cap companies. So you can, the first best way of selecting a mutual fund is seeing the rolling returns. What people will do is they'll just see, if you just click on this 1 year, obviously the Nippon India will not come. They will see Bank of India large cap fund, and they will see this return, and they'll think this is the best large cap fund we have in large cap category, and they'll just go and invest. The first thing which you need to see is, for overall 3 to 5 years or in the long run, which fund is giving the good returns, or which fund is constantly beating the benchmark. So if you take 5 years category, you will see Nippon India, ICC Prudential, and then Investco. All these funds are constantly beating the benchmark, giving the high returns. I will just explain by taking one as an example. So in mutual fund, if you're a beginner, NAV is basically the value of one unit value of that particular fund. So in this case, the NAV, which is net asset value of this, uh, I think I'll just show the latest one. Currently, the value of NAV is 90 rupees 84 paisa. When it started, I think I'll just click on this max so that you will see the when it started, the NAV is around 9. So the large cap fund, when it's in the 18 years, it has given around 10x. So the top 50 companies of India and also the next 50 companies which is being used in this Nippon India large cap fund. So using that, they have given 10x of return. So these are the few of the the quick names which we can see. The AUM basically indicates the amount that fund is managing. Currently it is managing 46,521 crores. And then the exit load is, if you exit early, so there will be a time limit set that you can see. If you exit load is 1%, if you redeem within 7 days, so that is an exit load. There will be no lock-in period. Age is basically when this fund is started, it is there from 2007. Benchmark is BSC 100. As I mentioned, this will be keeping top 100 companies as benchmark until we keep beating the benchmark. And then expense ratio is how much they will charge, and then risk, and then the tax. All this part is explained here. So this is what we need to look at when we are investing. So we need to see the 1 year. In the 1 year, it is beaten benchmark by 2%. In 3 years, it is beaten the benchmark by 4%. In 4 years, it's beaten the benchmark by 5%. In 5 years, also it's constantly beating the benchmark. This is the one thing you need to see when you invest in any of the mutual fund categories. So this is the one of the important thing. It should beat the benchmark across all the areas. So by looking at this number, this is the good fund. It is having proper AUM as well. And then so expense ratio, I think it looks odd here. Maybe let's check in grow once. uh, Nippon India Large Cap Fund. So expense ratio is 0.92. There it was, I don't know, some glitch. So they are showing 1.5. So this is the expense ratio. This is what they will charge. So it is constantly beating the benchmark. In that sense, this is a good fund to invest. But in the large cap space, based on my personal view, I will suggest you guys to go with not, I mean, to as an educational purpose, you can consider it and you can do your own research before selecting it. I personally prefer Nifty Bs because I will show you. If you just see the Nifty base, what they will do is they will just dump the same allocation how it is there in the current Nifty 50. If you see, the expense ratio is 0.04, which is very, very minimal, almost zero. And even they are managing around 57,000 of AUM. So this is one of the good fund. And in the large cap, since I'll just show you why I told uh, compared to Nippon India large cap mutual fund, this is best. So if I just scroll down here, you guys can see the top holding, right? HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Reliance Industry, and Axis Bank. So if you invest your money, these are the top four holdings which Nippon India Mutual Fund has. And if you see the Nifty Bs, which has 0.004% of expense ratio, it will also be having almost same. If you see, HDFC Bank is the highest one, then we have Reliance Industry, then we have ICICI Bank. So looking at it, the almost allocation wise it will be same. See, and also you will be paying less number of, I mean, less amount as an expense ratio in this fund. So by keeping that in mind, I feel Nifty 50 Bs is a best selection, and I prefer this one in the large cap category. Now let us move on to the mid cap category. So let us go to mutual fund and then equity mutual fund. So let's see the mid cap. So in the large cap, you guys can expect the return is around some 12 to 13% in the long run. Mid cap is something average return it is showing as 22.53 overall. So you guys can expect in the 3 to 5 years time frame around uh, 16 to 18%. So in the 5 year return range, we are seeing ICICI Prudential again, Nippon is there. So these are all the funds that are coming as part of mid cap category. So let us take a look at one. I'll go with the first one itself. I think here if you see NAV of this one, the current NAV is around 330. As I explained all these ratios in the large cap itself, I don't go over and above in each and every mutual fund. I'll just show high level. So if you see the 1 year return, it has beaten in the next level. So 1 year it is almost 14% higher than the benchmark, and then in 3 years as well it is 6% up, and then in 5 years as well it is 3% up. Overall, this is consistently beating the benchmark. So the AUM fund size is around 6,569. So in the mid cap category, I feel you guys need to choose uh, mutual fund itself rather than choosing uh, ETFs, because the only reason is in the mutual fund, if we have a good fund manager, he will be selecting good company from those 150 companies. But if we directly go with the ETFs, there they will just keep the same allocation across all those 150 companies. So beating the benchmark in the mid cap is good if we choose the mutual fund. With that, if I show you, I see overall funds. My personal favorite is HDFC mutual fund, because in the long run ICICI Prudential also makes sense. But this is my personal favorite by considering the expense ratio and then beating the benchmark and the quality of the companies they have. I was having my one more favorite as Edelweiss. I think don't look at these guys. This will be keep changing. If I just check, look at for 3 years. I don't know, some issue. It's not refreshing. See, for 3 years, the ratio is changing. I think they have not, assigned in the proper order. So that is an issue. In the mid cap space, my personal two favorites are Edelweiss mid cap fund as well as HDFC mid cap funds, which are consistently beating the benchmark, as well as uh, they have, good allocation across different sectors. So that's the reason why I prefer Edelweiss, which is a growth style of investing, and HDFC mid-cap fund also follows the same kind, but they are more mix of growth and momentum. With that, let's go to small cap fund. I think small cap fund also the ratios everything remains same, but these are like quite aggressive uh, alpha generators. They will give in the long term more than mid cap. Uh, in the current favorite for everyone, it is Bandhan. For myself also, I can say I prefer Bandhan, which has ability to give a good uh, CAGR growth in the upcoming years by looking at the fund manager mode and then the allocation across different sector. So what one of the most important thing in selecting mutual fund is not the high return. It's about how you protect your portfolio during the crash. So that is the one of the main important thing, and looking at that you guys need to select the best mutual fund across different category. So don't go with ETFs For mid cap and small cap, go with mutual fund for mid cap and small cap. And for large cap, you can choose ETF as your primary mode of investment. So as I mentioned, my preference when it comes to small cap is Bandhan and Invesco, because Bandhan follows, the momentum style of investing or the value style of investing, and then Invesco follows the growth way of investing. Nippon India is also there. I can show you that as well. So the only reason I'm not going with Nippon India because of their fund size. It is almost around 61,000, which is three times of Bandhan, and around six times or five times of Invesco. What happens when they have highest AUM is because they will get confused with the allocation. They can't pump the money when it comes to small cap. That's why having good amount of AUM is also matters. When they have more AUM, they can't dump the money into small cap companies. So small cap companies are basically the market cap with around 10 to 15,000 crores, right? When they have the amount as 60,000 crores and they want to invest in one of the companies which has some 1,000 crore, they can't dump the money everything. If they have a less fund size, they can easily manage. So by looking at that, in the mid cap is okay, but in small cap, fund size is very, very important. And if you see the flexi cap as well, that's the reason why the Parak Parik is failing from last few years. It was a good alpha generator back in 2020, 2022, 2023, 2024. But now if you see, look at the fund size of Parag Parik. It went beyond 1 lakh crore. Currently, it is sitting at 1,28,966 crore, which is like 2 3 times of the existing fund. So in flexi cap, as I mentioned earlier, the fund manager will be having that flexibility to invest across different categories of fund. So my personal preference when it comes to flexi cap is HDFC flexi cap fund. Though it is having highest fund size, the fund manager choosing, so since they'll invest in large cap, right? So when it comes to flexi cap also, the fund size doesn't matter much, but it should not be as much as Parag Parikh. Even Parag Parikh fund manager itself in one of the interview said it's difficult for them to generate the alpha the way they were doing before. So with that, the flexi cap fund, the personal preference are HDFC, and then the one more is, let me go back. This is the first one, and then the second one was, where is my Bank of India? Here it is. The Bank of India, they have just started it, but looking at their way of investing and their uh, allocation across different funds, I feel I was also investing in Parag Parikh. I mean, my preference was Parag Parikh back in 2020, 2021. Currently, because of this higher fund size, I switched that Parag Parikh fund. So currently, this is one of the fund you guys can have a look at. They are 53% into large. Currently, all the flexi caps are keeping the large cap has highest allocation because of the current global scenarios that are happening. So you guys can have a look at this in the flexi cap space. Now I'll just give a summary of all the equity funds that are available. So this is just a beginner, info. So a large cap, as I mentioned, it will be top 100. Mid cap is next from 101 to next 250. So it will be 150 companies. Small cap will be 250. So if you see large and mid cap, this is for the uh, people who want to have an exposure both in large and mid cap. Those for them the benchmark will be BSE mid small, I mean large mid cap 250. So they will be keeping that as a benchmark 250 companies, and then they will beat the index. Multi cap, they will be having allocation in the uh, commodities as well, commodities as in gold, silver, etc., etc. So multi caps will talk about that. International funds or invest in tech companies of US, and then Hang Seng we have Chinese related ETF. So those are the funds which will be investing. If you want to have an exposure in international funds, then you can choose this. And then strategy wise, they will invest in arbitrage and debt fund. Maybe I'll make a separate video on this as well in the future, because in one video covering everything will be too much. So I'll just come up with a one more video. If in case if you guys don't want to miss that, just please subscribe to the channel so that you'll get a notification whenever I upload any video. So my next plan is to make video based on age group and risk. So risk though anyway it will come with the age itself. So based on age and the salary level, how you guys need to do an allocation. So that will be my next plan. So I'm planning to do that. I will come up with that maybe by towards end of this week. So if you don't want to miss it, just please subscribe to the channel. And if you guys have any feedback, just write the comment. I will read it and I'll implement in the upcoming videos. With that, I will take a sign off. See you guys in the next one. Thank you.